All right, guys, Gauntlet WOD number 2, the strength workout. This time it's going to be a ladder, and that ladder is going to consist of 2 only movements: dumbbell snatch for level 1 and power clean for level 2. On the dumbbell snatch, they'll increment 5 pounds. Check the schedule to make sure which weight you guys are starting at, and the way it'll work is you and your partner will both move to 1 dumbbell, and you'll have 50 seconds to lift, and that's it. By the way, it's a 2 rep max on each arm, 2 rep max on each arm, and you'll have 10 seconds to switch. The way that works is you come up to your dumbbell, grab the dumbbell, just gotta start from below the knee. You get 1 and 2, you have to do both arms before you switch partners. So 1 and 2. And then your partner can work. Once you've done that and you've completed that, you can move on after the 60 seconds and attempt the next weight. If you stop and you no longer can lift that weight, your partner can continue to move on. At this point, you become cheerleader, cheering on your partner to get heavier weight. The total for that is the total of each successful partner's lifts. John, you want to talk about the standards?
Sure. All right, guys. So as Mark said before, you must start from below knee position and be in a stable position overhead. Okay. Also, when putting the weight down, you must ride it down to below the shoulder before you're going to drop it. Okay. So if you drop it,
so in other words, you can't drop it from up here.
If you drop it from the top, that'll be considered
no rep, and you have to do it again.
Right. Also, guys, what we want to make sure that you are, and I talked about a stable position overhead, don't be in this kind of like hunched over position. Okay, and we want to make this clean, so make sure that your back is nice and flat in the back. Okay, but a nice stable position overhead, and again, starting below the knee. You cannot clean and press. This must be one fluid motion to the top. Okay?
All right, so there's no press out. This must be continued, and you cannot have your hand on your other leg. The other hand has to be free, so the hand that you're not holding the dumbbell with has to be free, so it can be wherever, as long as it's not on your other leg, helping that up. And remember just to ride the dumbbell down and drop it when you're done. We don't want the kettlebells or the dumbbells flying all over the place. The last thing is that when your partner switches, you have to do, before your next partner goes, remember, you have to do both arms. So I do one, put it on the ground, or switch it in the air, doesn't matter. And then I do the other before my partner goes. Now, if you miss, you can attempt it within the 50 seconds, again, as long as you have time. So you don't only get one shot at it, but as long as it's in the 50 seconds, then a 10-second switch time, you move on to the next one. Okay? That's the 2 rep max snatch for level 1. Level 2, I'm going to bring that barbell over here, is 3 rep max power clean. The bars will be loaded up just like the dumbbells in succession. Each station will have an addition of 5 to 10 pounds, depending on where the weight's at. And same idea, your partner and you have 50 seconds to do the work and complete the lifts, and 10 seconds to switch and move on. If you do not complete the lift, your partner may move on. Once you both have stopped, you're done. And the total is both weight for you and your partner successfully lifted. Do you want to talk about the standards, John?
Sure. Yeah. So obviously, guys, the power clean must start from the floor, and at any time you're resting, it can only be resting on top of the shoulders or at the hip. Okay, so the power clean is landing tall and above parallel. We're not going to allow squat cleans for this one. You must power clean it. Okay. So if Mark is resting at any point, he can rest here at extension. And then he must touch and go. So it's a 3 rep max touch and go power clean. Nice. So that's a good rep right there. Landed above parallel. He can rest here as long as he wants. Again, you guys only have 50 seconds though, so make sure you're not resting too long. Must touch the floor and then go again. Very good. Those are clean reps.
Talk about no reps. If the barbell rests more than a split second off the ground, or there's a chance to regrip off the ground, that stops your reps. So if I come and I just cleaned it, come down, that from there is a no rep.
Correct.
Because I've taken too long to get back up. It's got to be immediate, guys. It's got to be immediate. Okay, and power clean, all that means is above parallel. So if I drop down, I can only get to about here. Anything below is going to be considered a no rep. And don't give your judge the responsibility of calling that. So make sure everything's high. All right, but that's it. We have power clean, 3 rep max for level 2, and snatch 2 rep max on each arm for level 1. And that's your Gauntlet workout number 2. Okay, so let's talk about the tiebreaker for workout number 2 that we forgot to mention in the video earlier, but we're going to tie break the amount of weight with front squats. So whether you're doing a dumbbell or a barbell front squat or a clean or snatch for that matter, once you hit the weight where you cannot complete the snatch or you just know you're not even going to attempt it, you can start front squatting. So if I'm doing dumbbells and I miss my last rep, I can pick up the dumbbell however I want to get it to my front rack and start front squatting with it. You'll have for the rest of the minute or the rest of the 50 seconds to do as many front squats as you can to tie break your score in case anybody else or any other team, there's a tie there in the totals. And the same thing with the cleans. Now the clean, since it is a power clean, you can squat clean that clean, specific clean, if you only are counting it for your front squat. So if I'm not able to get the power clean for 3 reps, or I slip at 2 or 3, I'm gonna have to gather myself, clean it, maybe squat clean it, and start front squatting to see how many reps I can get to tie break, or not. So that will be the tiebreaker in regards to how many pounds total your team has, and that's it. That's WOD number 2.